Hello everybody, we're here to tell you about one of the biggest problems in the world. We're here to tell you about quality education. There's a lot of people in this world that don't get the education because of poverty, war or other natural disasters like tsunami. Especially in the conflict-affected areas, girls in our age are more likely to be out of school than the girls in non-conflict affected areas.
We know that two little girls like us cannot do much about it, but there's no harm in trying. Trying to get people to understand that there's many kids in this world who don't get an education. Trying to get people to do something instead of just sitting on their asses and listening to us, talking about these really important problems and doing nothing about it. That's us right now. We're hearing about kids who don't get enough food, who don't get enough water and don't have a place to sleep at night. We hear about it, we feel badly about it, but we don't do anything. It's because it's difficult to put yourself in this kind of situation, because you know how it feels to have everything. Well, at least everything we need. You know how it feels to get food every day, drink water every day, and go to school every day, and have somebody who cares about you. And there's many kids in this world who don't feel this, who don't get a chance to experience this. There's many kids in this world who don't get enough food, don't get enough water, and don't have a family. But there's actually been a drastic change of people with families and people who get food and have an education. But there's still a big gap of people who don't get an education. And it's not only kids who need one, but there's also adults who need an education, a better job and a better life. And people with no future, if we do something, people with no future can get a better education, a better job and a better life.
32% of 5 to 17-year-old children in West and Central Africa work in damaging child labor. Only 7% of 5 to 17-year-old children in Middle East, North Africa also work in damaging child labor. These statistics were updated in January 2018. Maybe you hate school, or maybe you think school is boring. It is hard to find a child that doesn't think this. But take a minute and think about the children who don't go to school and don't have the opportunity to go to school.
If we don't do something now, the goals that are set to 2030 will not be accomplished. We say that by 2030, kids can go to secondary and primary school for free. We think that's a really good goal to set. But the question is, can we do it? Because if we can't do it, then who can? And if it doesn't take time, then why even bother trying? Because it's going to take time, a lot of time. And that's why the goals are set to 2030. If the goals were set to, for instance, 2020, we wouldn't be able to make it because we're lazy. We're not saying that you are lazy, but we're saying humanity is. 2 years ago, we went to Mali in Africa for seeing our goals in action. What we wanted to see was kids going to school, adults having jobs, but at least people with food in their stomachs. Maybe we got our hopes up too high, but what we saw was the exact opposite. My heart broke into 1,000 pieces when I saw a child working in the garden, not going to school, and probably not will, at least for now.
We live with a family. They had 3 kids. They used to have 4, but she died recently. We don't know why. Besides that, the family was happy, because the kids went to school and the parents had a work and enough food. Well, at least enough food that we could have some as well.
But even though the families in that city did not have so much, they shared. They shared their food, they shared their home, so everybody would have a place to sleep. They loved each other even though they didn't know each other. They treated everybody like they were family.
It is going to be a long journey with many bumps on the road, but we're getting closer with every day that goes by. Thank you.